All righty. We are
What
back.
is happening?
What's popping, people? Oh my goodness. Yes,
What
we were asleep when the Deshaun Watson news broke, Badaki. We were
yeah, if you
fast
guys
asleep.
don't know, if you're new to the channel, we do live in Sydney, Australia, but we love fantasy football and we follow fantasy football, and Deshaun Watson gets traded to the to the Cleveland Browns. And I said it earlier this week, and I was like, when the news breaks, we're probably going to be sleeping, and it's going to be the worst time. It's going to feel like we missed out.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like we let the community down, but this is why we are here. We figured, you know what? Everyone knows the news happened. We're not gonna, not that we're not gonna make a video. We probably will.
Yeah. No,
We
we
might
will.
as well just jump straight into a Dynasty SuperFlex startup mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
Post all this news, Devontae Adams news,
Yeah.
post Juju Smith news, Deshaun Watson, everyone, and just go straight into it. And I think
We
that's what
have
people like to
limited
see.
time. We have limited time because weekends are supposed to be for like family and stuff. But when we woke up, we were like, you know what? There is so much content that we want to make. Maybe let's push that to next week. Let's talk about Deshaun next week on next week's videos. Let's talk about a new Amari. Let's talk about Devontae a little bit more. So instead, we said, how do we spend the best time with the best amount of time possible with what we have? And we are like, let's do a startup draft because now we get to see where so many pieces. I mean, Juju's in Kansas City, Deshaun's in Cleveland.
How you feel about that, by the way?
I feel great about it, bro. I mean, I was telling
You're a Chiefs
people to.
fan.
I feel great about it as someone who went out and bought a lot of shares of Juju. I purposely went out to buy shares of Juju this offseason because I thought that he could land in a really good situation. Now here he is in Kansas City, so I feel really, really great about it. Honestly, I think it's great for him. But I hope that you guys were also able to. He was on our buy lows, so I hope you're able to make some of those moves. What's up, everybody in the chat? Dad is here. Voss Boss, Adam Walker, Jay Stump, Stephen Day. Trippy's here. Timothy's here. Hook 'em.
What's happening, everyone?
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em.
Yeah, I'm on my Matthew McConaughey stuff, This is going to be interesting. Dad 30 says Watson went round 6 last year on my startup. Yeah. And what's funny is no one had confidence into him until all the legal stuff, like the criminal charges were like, it's not going to happen. So, again, we don't really know what to say on that situation. We want whatever's justice is to happen. The crazy part of that about this Badaki is there is still 22 civil cases.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
to get passed.
And we're gonna see, and this is why we mock. I think the expectation, we hope that he was gonna get traded. We just now need to see how many games he will be suspended. I think it's from 4 to 8. We'll just gotta wait and see what's gonna happen, and maybe that will affect where he goes. But I don't think in a Dynasty startup it should affect it that much. Maybe a spot or two, but it shouldn't drop him a whole round or anything. So we're definitely keen to see what's happening. But so many people, David Njoku, like you said, David Njoku, Amari Cooper, even Nick Chubb, I guess in a redraft perspective, even though this is Dynasty, I think that changes a lot for a lot of people.
In redraft, yeah. I mean, guys like Amari and the name that I'm most intrigued, I'm going to be honest with you, the name that intrigues me the most, Amari Cooper's obvious. The running backs are going to be better. But David Njoku, man, we have always talked about how good of an athlete Njoku was, how he was in a terrible situation, a quarterback that didn't prioritize him. So I'm really excited about Njoku more than anything.
And everything went his way. Everything went his way because they signed Austin Hooper to his massive deal, and then they released him.
Yeah.
And now David Njoku re-signs, or I think he gets franchise tag. I actually don't know what happened with him. And now Deshaun Watson comes.
It's a 1-year deal right now. So I think I don't know if he's on the tag. I mean, he's 25 years old. We've always talked about how much of a good athlete he was out of Miami. So this is going to be really, really fun to do. Hey, guys, we have a like goal of 100 likes. It's probably unrealistic, but
you like that?
You like that?
You like that?
Have you dropped a like yet?
You like that? You like that?
Appreciate you guys. If you have not, show some love to your boys. And we are going to see where everyone lands now. You know what I mean? I mean, at this point, this is going to be really, really interesting now to see actually where things land.
Let's get straight into it, honestly.
Donovan People-Jones will be interesting. Harrison Bryant. Yeah, I think he's interesting for sure. He's interesting.
I think
they really liked him.
It makes, even though there were so many mocks of Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson going to the Browns, even though they don't have that first anymore, that second round pick, whoever, if they do go wide receiver, will still be very interesting. And that second round pick could be a first round rookie mock draft or in a rookie startup or
Yeah.
rookie
Um,
drafts.
I think
Does that make sense?
I
For
agree.
example,
I agree
if
that
Sky Moore
Harrison.
goes there,
Mhm.
like if Sky Moore goes to the Browns hypothetically in the second,
I
I
don't.
don't know if they had their 2022 second. Maybe he sneaks up to the first.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it depends. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Hey.
Yeah, that's the whole
I will
conversation.
say on Harrison Bryant, it is definitely an interesting conversation. Maybe he is worth, a late round in a dynasty startup. Probably not top 15, but late round in a startup, I think it's worth it to like, let's see what happens. Like we don't know what's gonna happen, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
that's true. Timothy makes a good point. Watson never really targeted tight ends heavily in the past. It's very true. Josh Pope says, I feel y'all with the biracial chemistry.
Chemistry is my ninjas.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, love, brother. We appreciate
I
you,
love
man.
it. Stephen Day says, think Fuller
That's funny.
reunites with Watson. I've heard a lot of people say that. Wherever Deshaun Watson go, expect Fuller to follow him. So we'll have to wait and see. Brian says, you can let me in this draft. Hey, okay. So if you guys want to be a part of this mock draft with us, it's quite simple. So there's a comment that's pinned in the chat to join our Discord. Join our Discord, and then we will send the link out to join the mock draft in the Dynasty Mock Draft text channel. Okay, so that's how you can be a part of it. Now, I'll say this again: if you don't get in today, because it is first come first serve. If you don't get in today and you haven't been able to get into one, all you got to do is, next time we have a draft, message us 15 minutes before and say, "Hey, I've never been into one. I'd really love to get into one before," and we'll make sure to get you into one. Just make sure you're like, hey, I'd like to get into this mock. I've never been into one. If you consistently get into them, don't message us because we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to really have a chance to be a part of these. So, did I miss the Cooper takes? I don't know if you missed the Cooper takes. We're definitely going to be talking a lot about Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
but
I think when these people, I guess I don't know. Like maybe should we talk about him in general and then let the draft start, or should we go?
We'll talk
through
about
the
him
draft?
as it happens. But
Yeah,
I'll
right?
ask you this: where do you have Amari Cooper ranked now? Because for me,
I had him.
he
Okay,
was he was around wide receiver 33. I now
Mm-hmm.
have him as my wide receiver 27. So I couldn't put him over guys like D Hop, Mike Evans still because I still like their situations better.
Right.
But where do you stand there?
I was at 36. I actually have him at 27 now.
Okay.
I am contemplating putting him over people like Mike Evans and DeAndre Hopkins just due to the, he's younger than those guys and he has Deshaun Watson. I don't know what, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they took that contract from the Cowboys or maybe whatever the case may be, but as we get close into the season, I think he's going to go even higher, maybe sneak into the top 25 for sure. For me, so I just got to wait and see. And their draft is going to be interesting as well. Who are they going to get? Because if they don't get a wide receiver, or if they sign Will Fuller, that changes a lot as well. Because the chemistry with Deshaun Watson and Will Fuller will be.
You almost assume Will's going to be in Cleveland, though. You almost assume that Will Fuller will be there.
Yeah, so very interesting. Very,
What's up, Matt?
very interesting.
Welcome in, Nathan. SB
Happening.
Sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. What's up, Gremlin? All right, this is going to be really fun to see, guys. I'm really excited for this to just kind of see, again, where everyone's going to land now. Again, we have a like goal of 100 likes. It's probably unrealistic. 42 people watching right now.
You like that?
Have you dropped a like?
that?
Show some love. Appreciate you guys over here on the channel. Okay, let's go ahead and send that link out,
Yeah,
Benaki.
I'll send that link out. Obviously, you guys know Dynasty, damn it. Then you go to Dynasty mock drafts, and I'm putting in. People are already typing in there. It looks like they probably see me typing.
Everyone's trying to get to it.
I know. 3, 2, almost 350 people in the Discord already, which is crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Last week it was like, I think it was like 250 or something like that. I felt like so.
By the way, I just saw Dave entered the draft. Dave sent me a trade for Juju in one of our Dynasty follower leagues 9 hours ago. I just saw it right now before we started. And he's like, is Juju available? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, man. No, I'm not selling Juju.
Look, maybe we talk.
And if I get Juju, I need to get some good compensation for it. I think that definitely hit as far as buy lows. But go ahead.
I am interested to see how that would look like with Juju, because I think
he
we said
fills
this.
a
We
perfect
said it.
need for them, to be honest.
I feel like it is a perfect need, but does he become a top wide receiver now? I mean, you have the thought process is that Tyreek and Kelsey are demanding targets. So like, how many targets is that can go to? I don't know. That's just a conversation. I would like to have that conversation.
Sure.
I'm just throwing my thought process out there because I haven't really thought about Juju's trade and what that would look like. And
yeah.
I haven't even moved up my rankings. I need to double check to see where
if he
I
can
have
finish as a top 24 wide receiver with Big Ben 2 years ago, I think he can finish as a top 24 wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes. For sure. He will. All right. The link to join our Dynasty leagues, if you guys want to be a part of our follower leagues, I pasted it in the chat there. Brian says, seriously, Trippy has been in literally every mock, and I have asked last week, and I still couldn't get in. That's okay. Lots of channels to watch. Brian, are you gonna leave now? I mean, dude, we've said it so many times. If you want to get into a mock draft, it's quite simple. You have to message us 10, 15 minutes before the live stream starts. Say, hey, I've never been in a mock draft, and I'd like to get into one. And anyone who has done that to us, we've helped them and we've got them into the mock. I don't know what. I'm sorry, man. There's gonna be people who miss out, but yeah, I don't know what to say outside of that. Wolfpack says Cooper was a wide receiver 3 for me. Now he has to move up to wide receiver 2 pretty easily, considering target share and now target quality. Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting. Definitely interesting to see. All right, 12 people here. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Excited to have a good time with you tonight and see where these players go. This is a PPR draft, okay, non-tight end premium, and it is SuperFlex, okay? So there will be 2 quarterbacks. And let's go ahead and get this started, yeah?
I mean, Julio to the Browns?
Trippy says, I've got fast hands. Don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. Again, if I think there's been so many people that we've helped out who have messaged us before mocks. So I don't know what else to say outside of that. Josh Allen at the 1-1. Patty Mahomes at the 1-2. And then Justin Herbert at the 1-3. Timothy says Juju is interesting. Hill, Kelsey are huge target hogs. That's very true.
Yeah, and that's why.
Hard to think about a better offense to be on, though.
I wonder. I need to look at like their target share and the thought process of how much he can snag away from those guys and really break it down. But it is in a great spot. Being in that offense is fantastic, period. So he's definitely going to do something. We just really need to break it down.
Everyone thinks that Trippy has the hacks on. Okay, wow. So Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, and now Watson is off the board at 1-4.
And this is a conversation. Like we said, he'll probably go top. I mean, I've said he would be top 5, top 6. He went top 4 over Kyler Murray, over Joe Burrow, over Lamar Jackson.
It's interesting.
And this changes everything. Deshaun Watson does have the. Man, this is crazy. I don't know.
It's super interesting.
I wonder if you're still taking him. Let me ask you this. Let me ask the community this. With 8 games, let's say max 8 game suspension, are you still taking him at the 1-4? Hypothetically, I think I would. I have him as my top right now. I have him as my number QB5.
He's my QB7 at this point.
So that feels
I'm
okay.
Still, if a startup's happening today with 22 civil cases happening, I am still taking all 6 of the other guys over Deshaun Watson at this point. If I'm at the 1-7, yeah, I would take him. But all these other guys do not have legal situations that they're facing. So for me, as good as it looks right now, until everything is passed, I cannot put him over those other guys who I consider elite tight ends as well. So I'm on the board here. And I mean, I'm going to go ahead and grab Jonathan Taylor here at the 1.8.
Okay, yeah. See, like Dave said, 8's a lot,
yeah.
I guess 8's a lot just for the one season, and then you can have him for the next 4 or 5, well, technically 5 years. Yeah. And for sure, we probably haven't seen him play the whole year. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know, if it's going to take him a while to get back into that rhythm.
Yeah.
So I think that's another conversation that
No,
we
well,
can
look
definitely
again.
have.
Like if there weren't any of those civil cases against him, then I think you can take him wherever you want. Like outside of the top 3, yeah, take him wherever you want, even if it's at the 4. But at this point, I don't really want to make this like if this was a real startup today, would we actually be making that pick? That's my genuine question, right? Because you don't know if anything else is going to come out or what the legal situation is going to look like. If all that was cleared, then 100%. But that's my genuine question. Do you know what I mean? Like if a startup happens today, where are you taking him? Are you actually taking him as a 5th quarterback?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go Najee. I think I would take him and think like the longevity with that is tremendous. Like,
Okay, well, what if something comes out with these civil cases and he
if
faces
something
more
comes
jail time?
out, if something comes out and he faces more, then yeah, like.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Sure.
I said if this was a real draft today.
Oh, right here, right now. Yeah, that's definitely a hard question.
Just saying. I don't know. I don't know that I would do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would do it either.
I feel much better about Murray, Burrow, and Jackson right now. Again, if everything's cleared, different story. But yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. But there's no question. No one's questioning his talent, his top 5 status for sure. All right, so Swift and Javonte off the board. Badaki, here you are. What's the thought process?
Well, this is the first time I took a running back in this position. I have 2 Dynasty startup drafts with startups with the community, and I have both the 11 spots. So I'm not loving it right now. I'm going Dak Prescott.
Yeah, you're at the 11 in both, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm at the 11 both. So if I have to switch up the strategy, I feel like one team I'm going to go running back heavy, and the other not, like running back early, and the other ones I have to go QB early. Just gotta wait and see what that looks like.
All right, let's see what's going to happen here. So Trey Lance goes at the 2-3. And we'll see what Trippy's thinking here. What is Trippy's mindset here? So a lot of players on the board that I would love to grab. Okay, so Kyle Pitts goes. And now I'm looking at the quarterbacks. But I see that everyone on the left side of the board here has at least one quarterback. And I personally don't think it's a reach here, but I'm comfortable to wait. And maybe this will be my mistake here, but I think I would rather take a chance here and wait on quarterback. So I'm going to go wide receiver. I'm going to take my wide receiver 3, which is A.J. Brown. So I'll go ahead and grab A.J. Brown here, starting JT, AJB.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a lot of good positional players on the board. So in my mind, if I don't grab a wide receiver here, the tiers of wide receiver at the 3-8 is just, it's not going to be what I need. But we'll see. We'll see how the board pans out.
Yeah, they say way too much uncertainty to take him that high. Timothy, personally, I'll take Dak over Watson. I personally wouldn't do that. I guess maybe if all the legal stuff does come out. Right. Nathan says I'll have no problem taking Watson top 5, but no doubt I'll be grabbing a QB early than most other teams. 100%. I'll definitely be doing that as well. Like for example, maybe we should go about this as if he does have the 8-game suspension, because I think he probably will get a suspension. Right. I don't know. That's like maybe we should go about it. This is worst case scenario. Yeah. Worst case scenario right now, Deshaun Watson. We know he's coming back. 8-game suspension.
So that's the issue though. We can't define the worst case scenario. We actually can't.
Yeah.
With 22 cases still open. I don't know how you define that. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, that's true.
Russell Wilson, CeeDee Lamb. Because if we're honest, worst case scenario is that something comes out and he doesn't play again. I don't think that will happen at this point from what we know. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's really hard to define worst case scenario. Don, we're not saying that you don't take him that high for sure. I'm just saying I personally would take Murray, Burrow, Jackson over Watson at this point. with the unknowns of his situation. So I get it. You know, I'm not saying that you can't take him that high. I'm just saying right now, if today we were doing a startup, I would still take Kyler, definitely Joe Burrow, and then you can have a conversation about Lamar and Deshaun. But I think I would go Lamar personally. But I definitely get where people are coming from if they see it a different way.
Yeah, I think I'm on the other side. Like, I would definitely take the chance, and get a talent like Deshaun Watson, and kind of agree with Nathan. Maybe I'll grab a quarterback earlier, than most teams. Maybe I'll grab another. I guess it really depends on how you really want to build your team, but maybe I'll grab a Jameis if he does start. Maybe I'll grab a Baker if he does go to the Colts. Maybe I grab, a Carson Wentz and have him for the 8 games if I really want to go that low. Or I can get a quarterback in the mids, 5, 6, get a Wilson. I guess depending on how the board falls, a Wilson, a Tua, um, a Kirk Cousins, a Derek Carr now is a whole different conversation as well. Maybe you can go about it that way. But I think he would, if I were taking Deshaun, I would go back to back quarterbacks instead of going in this scenario, if that was the worst case, or
Right.
if that was an 8-game suspension hypothetically.
All right, so Cup off the board, then CMC at the 210. We'll see what happens next.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Tom Brady is a good option there, Ronnie, for sure.
Ronnie says grabbing Brady would be perfect in later rounds if you draft Watson. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a
100%.
good idea.
Quote Nation, what do you guys
on
thoughts on Davis Mills? Yeah, look, there's a lot of conversation after the trade that they're going to stick with him. They're not going to, at least they said that they're not going to draft well, we don't know if they're not going to draft a quarterback, but if they don't draft a quarterback, it is clear that they're going to be sticking with Davis Mills. And that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
All the people around him, another second year around him.
They've already actually said that they're going to build around Davis.
Right. Okay.
Anything
can happen, I guess.
Sure
I won't be surprised.
That, but yeah, I'm pretty sure all the picks they're going to use this year is to build around him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see offensive linemen or potentially wide receivers or running backs throughout the different picks that they have today. So, all right, Breece Hall at the 3-2. That makes him the running back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 off the board. I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't know that I would do that without knowing his landing spot just yet, though. There are running backs I would take over him at this point without knowing the landing spot. So, but let's say he does land in a good spot where he's not going to have any competition or anything. Then yeah, I could see that.
You know what sleepers should do?
What?
They should have. Like, for example, Jonathan Taylor's RB1. Like, we just had a count that Breece was RB7. They should have like a little number next to it that just says like 7, like, so we can understand.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Whenever Sleeper Marcus gets back on the stream, we'll ask him about that.
Yeah, because, obviously we always have to count, especially the late ones. It's like, oh, let's see where he went, round 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got to count the whole time.
It seems like every time someone drafts Patty, they try and grab Tyreek as well to get that stack. Justin Fields, nice complimentary quarterback to Josh Allen. That's a fun way to start a league, especially if you believe in Justin Fields like we do. Then Gibby, to be fair, I don't think I would spend the 3-1 on Gibson either. As much as I was saying Breece Hall might be a little too early, I'm a Washington fan, but I don't think I would spend the 3-1 on Gibson. Is that wrong to say?
No, he's up there. I mean,
I feel like he feels better in late third, early fourth, but
yeah, they had a little moment where everyone was raving about J.D. McKissick leaving, and then it went right back down.
And now JD's going to be here for 2 more years, confirmed. And you just have to think, like, how many more years will Gibson have by the time JD's contract? Will it be at the same time? I'm trying to think that through. I think that will be at the same time. So the passing upside, the work in the passing game it's quite limited, unfortunately, if we're projecting that going forward. And honestly, I think I should reevaluate him in my dynasty rankings. I love Gibson, but it's hard to see work there. All right, so Debo and then T. Higgins and then Elijah Moore at the 3-7. I'm looking at the board. And, man, I hate to see Jalen Hurts there.
Well, do
Honestly,
you see the Jalen Hurts or Mac Jones for you, brother?
I know, but I'm not gonna go wide receiver, or I'm not gonna go quarterback here. There's not a quarterback I really want to build around at this point on the board, and maybe this changes my strategy. I think I'm gonna go DK here. Still a DK believer. Purely as a prospect, if he was coming into this draft, he would be the first wide receiver off the board, no question. So, as a prospect, only 24 years old, not on a second contract yet, I'll take DK there at the 3-8. Start build up that wide receiver room.
Okay. There goes Devontae
The Hurts hatred is real. It's no hatred. I'm just not investing in him in Dynasty. All right, Devontae Adams at 3-10. We were curious where he was going to go.
Yeah, we were.
No, I'd like to see how Team 10 builds their team around Adams, because we have to keep in mind Adams, while he has a 5-year contract, he's my wide receiver 12, but I also have to keep in mind when I'm drafting him in a startup, there is, he's going to be 30 by the time the season starts. So the fact that we have Trey Lance there is interesting to me, because at this moment, like you and I believe that Trey Lance could be the starter, but at this moment, it's not fully clear and transparent on what that situation will look like. So I'm very curious to see how Tyreek builds his team from here on out. Hey guys, 35 likes so far.
You like that? You like that?
Appreciate all the love. You guys are amazing. All right, so then we see Joe Mixon off the board. You took Mixon here at the 3-11. No wide receivers on the squad yet, Badaki.
No wide receivers. I'm gonna try a different strat here. I'm gonna go. Shit, I should have taken him.
All right, there goes Mac and Tua.
I was hoping that one of those guys were gonna come back to me.
Yep.
Which is okay, because I think I can maybe go. Let me just double check. I don't know if I feel like this feels way too high now.
Timothy says going 0 quarterback strategy, bold. Yeah, I want to try this because I am drafting from the 8 in one of our leagues, and right now I hate it. I'll be honest. Right now it feels disgusting, but we'll have to wait and see how the full team looks. But right now, not a fan. Not a fan. So what's the thought here?
The thought process was going to get, running back, and then was going to get one of these two guys, Mac Jones or Tua. Now, my next thought process is to maybe go Zach Wilson, but I don't want to go that far down. I'm going to go a guy that I believe in, just got a contract extension. I know he is hurt right now, but it's Chris Godwin.
Okay.
I'm going to get my first wide receiver. I'm not liking the way this...
Adam says these leagues are 4 years. Correct. That's the minimum. Yeah. I mean, the hope and like the idea and hope is that everyone loves it so much that they just want to keep going. But that is the minimum for the leagues for sure. I mean, that's been our favorite part of it, is just the relationships that you build in those leagues and the friendships that you have, and then hopefully everyone loves it so much that we can just keep that dynasty going. It don't have to stop if we don't want it to. And Stafford off the board at the 4-3. Now Trippy is on the clock, and he takes Michael Pittman, Pity City, off the board, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is a guy that I am skeptical on now. He had Carson Wentz. He kind of had his breakout year. It's going to be interesting to see who his quarterback is. The talk is Baker Mayfield could be going there. Is Baker Mayfield better or worse than Carson Wentz? We don't know. I don't think he's better, personally. Can he make Michael Pittman fantasy relevant? We haven't even seen that with Jarvis Landry or OBJ when he had OBJ at that time. So Michael Pittman is a guy that I am on the fence about right here, right now, just based on his quarterback play. Who's going to be his quarterback? If they do get a younger quarterback, like a Pickett, like a Malik somehow, it definitely changes. But if he gets a Jimmy G, a Jimmy G, let's say a Jameis Winston, let's just say, who the hell about Baker Mayfield? I'm questioning it a lot now.
For sure. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed J.K. Dobbins there. Might have been too early, and this isn't how I typically draft, but I just want to see how this strategy goes if I do wait on quarterback. So that would make him the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth running back off the board, and I'm comfortable with that. I have him as my running back 7 in Dynasty, so I'm more than comfortable with that.
Gremlin says, how many money leagues ready can I pay to join another league? If so, DM me on Sleeper for the info. I know Zach. I don't. Did you respond to that already?
No, I mean we've had people who have had Patreon supporters who have wanted to be a part of multiple leagues, and essentially there's a way that you can edit your tier. And you know, it's $10 per month for a league. So if you want to be a part of 2, just edit your tier to $20 per month. You know, it's not something that you have to do at all, but some people love it so much that we do have people who are in multiple leagues. So if that is something that you want to be a part of, for sure, like you definitely can do that. Just DM us on Discord if you have any questions about that. And for those who aren't a part of our leagues and maybe you want to be a part of it, in general, then I'll paste that link there in the chat. And if you're watching it later, you can find it down in the description below, patreon.com. All right, so Burks is off the board and then Diggs. You know, this is honestly, again, like I'll just say it again. This is why I hate not having a pick within the first 7 picks.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks drafting at the end of the board. Like
you your picks from 8 to 12, if that's where your startup is, it's not ideal. It sucks. I mean, because the quarterbacks that are available there, like I don't want to reach on Trey Lance here at the 1-8. I don't want to reach on Wilson or Prescott. So I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor. But then I come back around and I'm thinking to myself, man, I have a different tier of wide receiver here compared to quarterback. Then you come back around and you're like, man, I still have a different tier of wide receiver to quarterback. I feel like drafting from the 8 to the 12 spot is really not ideal. Again, I'll say my favorite spots is from the 3 to the 6. That's my favorite spots to draft in a dynasty startup, but it's tough. Interesting, man. I mean, because Jonathan Taylor, I'm surprised he's not going in the top 7 anymore. I mean, to be honest, when we started the offseason, people were taking him at the 1-1. I thought it was crazy, but it was happening.
I took him there.
I thought it was crazy. And then we had people, you know, taking him at the 1-3, the 1-4, 1-5. I mean, it's interesting because now his ADP, he's starting to fall. Maybe the MVP hype season is dying down. I don't know. Maybe people comment down below and let us know why you think that's the case.
I think a lot changes, you know, like I wonder if that was a big, not that Jonathan Taylor can't do it again, but I just wonder if people are seeing that, you know, there's a lot of things changing in the Colts organization that maybe he can't do it again. I don't know. I know they lost like one offensive lineman. I know we signed one of their offensive linemen that played, I think, like half the season because one of their offensive linemen were hurt.
Right.
The Giants, I'm saying, I don't know. I have to double check and kind of really evaluate that whole team, but it's interesting.
Hey guys, 61 people watching with us. After the Deshaun Watson news, we said, let's see what a dynasty startup draft looks like after this news. So thank you so much for watching with us.
You like that?
If you haven't dropped one, drop a like for your boys. All right.
Please.
Might be an auto here for Ravenger. I don't know what's going on my screen. It's just kind of frozen.
Yeah, my screen is frozen. That means he probably made a pick and it just froze. I'm going to refresh the page.
Let's see.
You got Garrett Wilson.
Okay, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, Nathan, I think maybe, let's say Baker goes there. I think then we probably see Jonathan Taylor go from 1-4 to 1-8, somewhere around there. I think that's probably the range you see him, but we'll see. Hard to say at this point. Austin Eckler at the 5-1. Ravenger, you're currently on auto. If you go to the Q section right here, you can untick auto pick. All right, so DJ Moore at the 4-11. I mean, he just got a 3-year extension overnight. I don't know if you saw that, Badaki.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw that. Another guy, once again, who's going to be their quarterback. I mean, and there's 2 options.
Yeah.
You go with the vet or you go with the rookie.
All right, Thomas.
There's a lot of options there.
Thomas is going Kansas City Chiefs only. Okay, that changed to Kenneth Walker. Okay, so Kenneth Walker. Thomas says, no, I want every chief I can get. I love it. He's getting the what do you call it if it's not a stack? Is it a what's
trio?
it? What is it? Trio? I mean,
trio?
I don't know. I mean, is there a word for that? Terry McLaurin at the 5.3. I think that's really good value. I do think McLaurin is falling a little bit too far. Slavinsky, and some people like when we put a poll up on our page about McLaurin's dynasty value. Man, I was so surprised by the reaction from the community. Triple stacks actually. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. Aaron Rodgers at the 5.5, and now Kid Prosper's on the board. He goes Malik Willis at the 5.6 trifecta. Yeah, there's some good words coming in here right now. Garrett's on the board. He's got his 2 QBs, his 2 wide receivers, and he goes St. Brown. And I am okay now because when I made this Dobbins pick, Badaki, I was looking at the quarterbacks and I said to myself, I hope Derek Carr falls to the 5.8. And I don't think this is too early. I don't think this is too early for Carr. What 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This makes him the quarterback 19. He's my quarterback 17. So I am happily going to take Derek Carr here. He gets Devontae Adams for the next 5 years. I'll take him. I think he's got top 12 years ahead. So I feel much, much better about this strategy if Derek Carr is available there at the 5.8. A lot of people aren't going to like that I'm saying this, but I'm okay with Derek Carr. I want him to be my second quarterback. I do not want him to be my first quarterback, but I feel a little bit better knowing that he fell there.
Definitely interesting, the whole conversation with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. The thought process is he's going to have this massive connection. He should have this massive connection and pick it up. I mean, you ever seen tweets already? It's like riding a bike.
Right.
So we're going to definitely see what happens, which makes my decision a lot easier. This is what I was hoping for. I did have Derek Carr and Zach Wilson on my queue. Zach Wilson is my QB too. And I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
Etienne and Eckler off the board. And let's see what back in 82 is going to do. He went 2 RBs and then 2 quarterbacks. Again, really difficult to draft from the 12. I'm actually drafting from the 12 in one of our Dynasty Follower leagues as well, in the Echo League. So, yeah, I want to throw up every time I think about it, you know? Dave says, I was going to pick Carr but got scared and took Rodgers instead. That's okay. I mean, for me, I guess it's interesting, isn't it? When you go to your rankings and you look and you think, man, should I have Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers? Derek Carr is what, 30 years old? Aaron Rodgers 38. I personally believe that Derek Carr, when you sign the 5-year deal for Adams, there's an extension coming for Carr. Do you know what I mean? I don't see a way that Derek Carr doesn't get a big extension here. So we'll have to wait and see. Jerry Jeudy and Jameson Williams off the board. Garrett says, trade me, Judy. Scott Colby, where do you guys rank Deshaun Watson? For me, at this point, I still have him as my quarterback 7. Badaki, I think you have him where?
I have him 5. I have him as my QB 5 at the moment.
QB 5, yeah. So we had that conversation there at the beginning of the stream, but for me, I don't want to take him over Burrow or Murray or, you know, really those 2 guys right now. I think you could have a conversation about potentially taking him over Lamar, but
yeah, I think the conversation is we don't know what's going to happen with the civil cases. So maybe you should play it cautiously. If you had to do a dynasty startup right now, the expectation is that maybe he is going to miss some games.
Yeah,
but I'm still willing to take that chance on him as my QB 5 and be okay with that.
Is Hollywood on the board? Okay, no, Marquise went. Marquise went. Okay. I think I'm going to go Rashad. Rashad Bateman here. Still a lot of wide receivers on the board that I like. I'm going to go Rashad though.
Okay.
As my wide receiver 3. Now that I have wide receivers that I trust, you know, I was honestly thinking maybe Amari there, but
I thought about Amari at Hollywood.
Going Bateman. Sorry?
I thought about Amari where I took Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I think I like Hollywood's. I don't know. I just like Hollywood better.
Evans off the board at 6'3". Then we see Mitchell And Nick Chubb at the 6'6". I think I got him in the 8th round or ninth or 8th round 2 days ago. So you can see his ADP is now rising. This is Garrett's first running back off the board. How long does Nick Chubb have left? I don't know. He's 26 years old on a second contract. So that's going to be a really difficult decision for a lot of people, Badaki. Nick Chubb there at the 6th. Like, where do you take Nick Chubb? Then Dalvin's off the board. And Josh Jacobs at the 6'8". I love me some Josh Jacobs. I am okay with that, although I am surprised that these running backs are going this early now. Not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that it hasn't been that in the past couple weeks.
No, for sure. And maybe this is maybe not Dalvin, but Nick Chubb and Josh Jacobs. This is the effect of, them getting new QBs. Josh Jacobs specifically was Devontae Adams. So the thought process is now you can't really stack the box at all. You got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, now Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs is going to get a lot more work on the ground, for sure, if he can stay healthy. And Nick Chubb, I mean, he just gets better. He's already good. He gets even better. So.
And Montgomery off the board. So we're seeing a run of running backs here. There was a question: Do we rank Chubb over Cook? I don't, but I don't know about Badaki. I don't want to speak for you. I would still take Dalvin over Chubb. I know that might sound crazy, but I would take Dalvin over Chubb still.
I do have Dalvin over Chubb as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do bump up Cooper and Njoku for sure. I'm curious where Njoku will go. I don't want to say it now on the stream and then he goes in the 7th round. Like, that's crazy, but I am curious to see where he's going to go. Watson will at least get Chubb in the red zone. That's very true. So we have seen all 5 quarterbacks straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs off the board in a row. And then TJ Hawk off the board and Michael Carter back. Interesting, because there's still a name on the board. There's still someone on the board that's available at running back. Would you take? Well, I guess we'll have to have that conversation here in a second. I mean, there's someone on the board that I'm just curious, Badaki, where if you would take Michael Carter over that running back. And looking at your rankings, I don't think you would, but I could be wrong.
At the moment, I wouldn't. Okay. There's definitely conversation for sure. Like, I think if I'm building a futuristic team and I'm just gonna go young guys, I think I probably would.
Right.
Because he's on his second contract, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's on a second contract.
Into his second contract.
I think he has. There he goes. Right.
Yep.
Am I
Alvin off the board. That's what I'm curious about. Is it? And this, honestly, what you're seeing right here, guys, the 7-1 and the 7-2. This is the dilemma that everyone faces when they're building a dynasty team and doing a startup. Do I go with the young player who I see potential in, or do I go with the guy who I know has been a top 5 running back, but he's on his second contract and he is aging a little bit? This is always such an interesting dynamic. And then Amari Cooper at the 7-3. So Amari sneaks into the 7th. He was, I think, going in the 9th, 10th round without Deshaun, so that's cool. What does that make him? 1, 2. I'll do the math. 1, 2.
This is why we need the thing, a little number.
Wide receiver 29 makes him wide receiver 29.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not bad. I guess I have him a little bit higher. I think I would take him over. I would consider taking him over Bateman, over Evans, over Jameson. I think maybe Hollywood Brown can definitely be a conversation, but I think I can definitely see myself getting to the point where I can take him over Hollywood.
Right.
But the thing is, Amari Cooper's 27, Hollywood's 24, so then it goes to like that age gap,
Right, and you assume that this is Cooper's last big contract.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many different conversations you can have regarding Amari Cooper and where you should take him. But someone like Mike Evans, I said, like DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's not off the board, but which I technically have those guys over Amari Cooper right now, but I definitely see myself moving him up above those guys later into the season.
Kirk Cousins at the 7-6, AJ Dillon at 7-4, Olave at the 7-5. I heard some people discussing these Packer running backs like Devontae leaving, saying that it's good for them. I don't think that Devontae leaving is good for anyone on the Packers offense. I mean, this is going to be an offense that scores maybe 10 less touchdowns without Devontae Adams. So I don't know that I could advocate for, those who think that this is a good thing.
I can definitely see how that's the case. I'm going to give, the guy who's been running the show for the past couple of years and Aaron Rodgers and giving him the benefit of the doubt of trying to make these guys relevant to him. I think Devontae Adams has been the guy for years. MVS has been the guy over MVS, Allen Lazard, everyone. Like, remember every single year, they need a wide receiver too. It's gonna be Lazard. It's gonna be MVS. It's gonna be somebody. Yeah. They have to break into the top 25. And it just never happened. I think just because Devontae Adams just demanded so many targets.
Totally.
And
I'm not even saying that I don't. It's hard to see a way that this offense gets better without Adams, even with whoever they bring in. So to me, from that perspective, I don't know that it helps the running backs that Adams is gone. I would argue that it hurts these. It's great that Rodgers is back. That definitely is a huge boost for these RBs, but I do think that it hurts the offense overall, which means there will be less goal line opportunities. There will be less red zone opportunities. And again, we don't know who's going to come in. There's still moves that can make, but at this point, I do think that I would say that the running backs are hurt more than they're helped by Devontae Adams leaving. I took Kittle there at the 7-8. I mean, at that point, I feel like to me, it feels like a no-brainer to take Kittle there at the 7-8. Tight ends can play until they're 33 at an elite level. Kittle's 28 at the moment, proven himself. So to me, it feels like he is part of that last tier that I'm willing to pay a top 7 pick on. So I'd be happy to take him there. Kind of building a team as we go. You took Tony at the 7-11.
7-11.
Let's see what back in 82 does.
Yeah, I have a couple guys. I hope. I don't think he should be taking either of these guys. At least I don't think he will.
I'm gonna switch it to 30 seconds when it goes to your pick. By the way.
Yeah. Picking up with the chat here. Flying Rat Attack. Give me Hawk at 6-7 turn over Pitts at 1-2 turn all day. Look, that's me. That's me as well. I'm not a somebody that takes Kyle Pitts or even Mark Andrews in the first to the fourth round. I'd rather get a mid to late round tight end.
I would be happy to spend whatever you need to on Pitts. Outside of him, you can make whatever decisions you like.
He's still my tight end one for sure. Don't get me wrong about that, but Kyle Pitts, that is. But I would rather. I mean, look who Tribute could have had in front.
Phil says Packers are 7-0 without Adams under LaFleur and average 31.6 points per game. We'll see, man. We'll see. Again, for those people who are advocating that the offense, because there were people on the stream the other day saying, no, this is good for Aaron Rodgers. This is good for the offense. I don't know. I don't think it is.
No, we'll definitely see.
Ayuk goes off the board there, and now I'm going to change it to 30 seconds.
Okay.
I definitely think Aaron Rodgers can overcome and create fantasy relevancy, but this offense isn't better without Devontae Adams. All right, 30 seconds on the clock.
I'm going to take my guy here, I think. Yeah. This is a guy that I'm questioning as well. And I'll take him so we can have a conversation. A guy that I'm questioning purely because of Mitchell Trubisky signing. I think they probably will go with a rookie quarterback potentially as well. They're going to compete.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting conversation. The thought process was that they were going to get a rookie or even anyone else. It was going to be Russell. Any of these quarterbacks, first of all, I hope Baker Mayfield is not going to the Steelers, which I doubt because they're in the same division. But at the same time, they're probably like, I don't give a shit because I got Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I would definitely do that. Think about it. Would you do that though? Oh,
I honestly wasn't
probably
listening
the one
to you.
time.
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't listening to you. Say that again.
I mean, what the hell is going on? I'm saying, think about it. Baker Mayfield requests a trade. Maybe the Steelers are interested in Baker Mayfield, and this will be the first time maybe the Browns will be happy as hell to trade somebody within the division. Like, take Baker. Yeah, you can have him.
I'm going to take the Jahan Dotson here at the 8.5. I mean, yeah, of course they would trade Baker away in the division. think they would
that's
feel
funny.
pretty confident about that.
But yeah, Chase Claypool is the guy that I'm questioning based on the quarterback play, but I'm hoping and believing that anyone that comes in is going to be able to throw the ball deep down the field because that's what he got brought in for, and Big Ben wasn't able to do that. So we'll see.
Yep. Going to be very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, again, I still am trying to put the pieces together of. I know Adams didn't want to play in Green Bay, but man, I just don't get signing Aaron Rodgers and then not having Devontae Adams.
I think you gotta, 100%.
I just don't think that this team is a Super Bowl competing team anymore.
I think
they're
that,
definitely a team that's going to go deep in the playoffs, but I don't. Adams wins at every single level. So I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, one of the guys that were free agent, Juju didn't even
goes
sign.
off the board there at the 8-10.
Yeah, he didn't even sign. That was the guy that we thought he could potentially be signing with the Packers at least.
Right.
And he signs. Like, who else is available now? I mean, let's double check that.
Yeah. Adam Walker says, and the offense looked completely different. Defenses aren't as quick to adjust to that. Wait until week 4 or 5, and they will definitely miss him. For sure. We'll see. Good coaching. Anything, good coaching can overcome most things. All right, Juju, Aaron Jones at the 8-11, Zeke at the 8-12, David Bell at the 9-1. I don't like my team. Just going to say it. Just going to say it. Don't like this team.
I wasn't in love with it when I first started. When I took Mixon, I feel like I should have taken somebody else there. But I'm growing to like it right now. I'm okay with it. I got my 2 running backs. I got my 4 wide receivers and a decent quarterback room right now, and I'm okay. I'm actually okay with that. It's still a good even team. Chris Godwin probably sits out for the first 5-6 games, but I'm feeling comfortable with Hollywood Brown and I guess Tony holding it up at wide receiver too, hopefully.
Lenny Fournette at the 9-2. I guess we are assuming that he's going to resign in Tampa Bay. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet. Spiller at the 9-3, then Michael Thomas at the 9-4. So let's see. Let's see how is Thomas someone that you want to spend a 9th round pick on? I think you and I have been pretty big advocates of not drafting him.
Agreed. And this is somebody that I'm not into, that I don't want to have on my team. Was he 20, 28, 29 years old? I don't want to have that guy on my team right here, right now. I think the downfall is there. It happened. He hasn't played for a year. Feels like a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken. So, and his best quarterback option right now is Jameis Winston. So I'm okay without it. You're on the clock here, 8 seconds.
I'll take Mike Williams there, the 9-8. After getting that extension, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that as well.
You are? You okay with that?
I'm okay with that, man. That's all right.
Yeah, I do okay.
And
Hit the get. Hey.
Appreciate it. Peace, love, and safe driving.
Peace, love, and safe driving. Come on, brother.
Hey.
Welcome in, my guy. Thanks for the sub.
Guys, we are. Let me just double check how many subscribers we have.
Yeah, I said it. We are
922 subscribers. So we're about 80 subscribers away.
78.
Yeah, 78 subscribers away
from
being
1K. Pretty
1K.
crazy.
So if you're here watching and you haven't subscribed, that would be a huge help. I'm taking Ramondre Stevenson here as my RB3.
Okay.
Give it to Ramondre.
All right, so Watson and Sutton off the board. There goes Pat, the Dragon Frymuth, and Tom Brady. Tom Brady off the board.
Tom Brady off the board. Huh? Okay.
Hit the get. I'm surprised Davis Mills went at the 8-9. I'm not saying that it's incorrect. I'm curious where he goes. I mean, I don't feel like the move really changed his outlook, but I could be wrong. Allen Robinson, okay. It feels like pretty good value there for Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I like it right here.
Tell me how you like it right here, right here.
You know, the reason why I took him was because I actually truly do believe they'll probably trade away Robert Woods.
Hey, flying rat attack.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you.
Hey, new fear unlocked. Flying rat attack. Oh my god. All right, Sky Moore is off the board. Any quarterbacks I really like enough to draft here? No. I mean, I know my quarterback room is disgusting, but there's no one there that I want to invest into.
Adam, I believe you. The Clyde hate is real. Give Clyde a chance.
You already gave him a chance. He's had 2 years of chances.
God damn it, man. Let him out then.
I'm gonna go Tony Pollard here. The Tim 5, he becomes my third RB. I like his involvement in the offense. And I think he's just going to be more involved this year. Like with what we saw from Zeke last year, I think that Zeke it's going to become way more of a 50-50 workload than what people realize. I mean, we could see for Tony Pollard this year a Kareem Hunt 2020 season. Do you know what I mean? Where he's like a top 15 running back. I think that's a very real possibility.
One thing I wanted to say to you was apparently the linebacker out of Georgia.
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 Are you talking about David Ojabo?
Yeah, he's hurt his Achilles.
Michigan.
Oh, okay. He hurt his Achilles
Wow.
in the pro day.
That's unfortunate.
And it's going to be evaluated, by the way. I don't know if you saw that tweet. I know
I did see that. Yeah, I haven't looked at it just yet, but it's interesting.
That, and another thing I want to say is that I feel like Juju is just chasing a ring now. He signed a 1-year deal. Like, why didn't, like, the whole point of him was going for the money, you know?
You don't know that anyone's offering him a long-term money. That's the issue.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
so he probably is trying to prove himself again on a 1-year deal. He'll be 26 next offseason. So if he can prove himself this year, you know, maybe he gets money last year. I mean, you have to keep in mind, he's coming off a shoulder injury, missed most of the year. I don't think he probably had the Christian Kirk type deal on the table, personally.
That's crazy that they gave Christian Kirk a chance over Juju Smith. That has been a top 12, top 15 guy in the league, or at least in fantasy perspective.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's crazy that Christian Kirk got that contract over him. Like,
yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm not saying that Clyde isn't a value at the 10-3. I'm definitely not saying he's not a value at the 10-3. I like that. I was considering taking Clyde at the 9-8. So I'm definitely not saying that's not a value.
Yeah.
So Kareem's off the board at the 11-2. He could be a big beneficiary of this whole Deshaun Watson move, and we're just not talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. He can be utilized more in the pass game. I mean, they don't really have receivers. Let's look at the Browns depth chart. Let's just look at everyone that they have there.
No, let's not look at it yet.
I'm looking right now.
No, don't talk about it yet. You can look at it. Just don't talk about it yet.
Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Anthony Schwartz.
Okay.
I think he's still there. Donovan People-Jones.
We're going to talk about it.
I'm talking about it right here, right now.
Because you're influencing the draft when you bring up these names.
Well, I don't think so. I just named people that. I mean,
it's
anyways. What else?
I'm like, no, let's not talk about it yet. When like you start reading off all the names. I'm gonna go Carson Wentz here. It's disgusting, but in the 11th round, I need a second quarterback, so I'm gonna take a chance on him.
GG's.
Hit the get. All right, round 15 will be the last round, so we still have about 4 rounds left.
I should probably take another quarterback.
Did you watch FP1 last night?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, pretty interesting. What do you think? Looks like Mercedes is actually struggling.
I think all cars have a different build.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find the right build for them, and they are still trying to. I think every team's still trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just crazy because they were just, what's his name? Like, it was Alpine and
Yeah.
somebody was driving, and their car
The
just
side
freaking
pod
broke.
just fell off. Yeah.
It just broke, like, because it was
Crazy.
just going too fast.
I don't know.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's wild.
If you guys
By the
don't
way,
know, we love F1.
Calvin Ridley at the 11-7. That's just such good value. I love that pick. Also, Brandon Cooks at the 11-3. I mean, stop underestimating Cooks. That's a good value. You're on the board here. Pressure's cooking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take my guy. I'll take Nico here.
Adam Walker says the Jags are probably the worst run organization in football.
I believe you, man. That's why I
I'd
don't
say
take Trevor Lawrence.
It's hard to disagree with that assessment so far.
It's actually, man. It's actually. I really want to give them the benefit of the doubt, though. Like, you know, I just really want this people to be successful. Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford off the board, and there goes Donovan People-Jones. Would he have gone if we didn't talk about him? I don't know. Would I have been able to get him at 12-5? Hard to say. We'll never find out. Am I upset about it? No.
He did that.
I was like, bro, don't say his name. When you say his name, everyone looks at him. Come on, wake up.
I'm taking Cole. I don't know.
When we're live streaming our real drafts, we cannot be saying names.
Oh, I'm saying everyone.
Sealed.
I'm saying the whole name.
This guy's got a problem. Something's not right up here, and that's the problem. I can't help him because something up here is like he needs to see a professional.
Needs to see the professional. Nathan, I think when we say like the worst ran organization, maybe in my thought process is like I haven't seen anyone progress there. It feels that way. I've seen people be successful. You know, MJD. You have Jalen Ramsey was at the started there. You know, I mean, they didn't progress, but like they weren't able to get to their full potential because they were just always bad.
Here's what I was gonna say: is the Lions are the worst run organization in football.
Come on.
Like if we're actually gonna find the worst run organization in football, it is the Lions historically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, is Trubisky still available? Talk about a steal. I'll take a chance here in the 12th. Why not?
I think it's a bit of a reach here, I think. You know, I mean, a couple quarterbacks here are still available. I mean, look at this.
Who would you take over Trubisky here?
Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff. You're kidding. Jameis Winston. I'm joking. He walked away. He did die.
And Njoku at the 12-8.
At the 12-8. Oh, that's funny.
I'll take a shot on Mitch. I don't think he's going to be the long-term answer, but if he is, I'll take a shot on him there.
Yeah,
is that Zamir at the 12-9?
Nah, it's a Quandre for sure. Has to be.
Zamir.
Oh shit.
All right, and Njoku at the 12-8. That's interesting. So what does that make him? I'll do the maths here.
Yeah, do the maths here.
You want to fill the space or?
What? I wasn't listening to you.
That makes him the 13th tight end off the board.
Where do you have him? So I
have him ranked as my tight end 14, but
I don't have him that high.
There's a lot of unknowns still. I don't know that I can take him that high.
I moved into my tight end 16.
Yeah. I do have him over Komet, but there are a couple tight ends that are available still that I don't have him over. I just don't know that I could take Njoku that early. Again, you know, someone made a good point earlier. The fact is that Deshaun Watson hasn't heavily targeted tight ends. Is that because he's never had a tight end like Njoku? Well, it would be easy to say that if we've seen production from Njoku, a lot of it hasn't been his fault. But you know, like it's really difficult to know. He's a real wild card in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider him a solidified tight end one yet, personally. Christian Kirk in the 13th round, that's actually good value there. That's a great pick. Why not? I mean, let's see what he does. Jags coaches are getting lap dances at Chili's. That's what I'm saying. Figure it out. Adam is a Lions fan and he agrees, but at least Shayla seems to care that now that she took over as owner. and we can believe Brad Holmes at GM and Motor City Dan Campbell at coach. Yep. Nathan says some great talents cut their careers short in Detroit. I feel for you, Adam. Yeah, I mean, we're still talking about Megatron, and they never paid him that money that they said that they would.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, man. I mean, that whole situation is just bonkers. Absolute bonkers, mate.
Absolute freaking bonkers, you dog. I'm gonna get it right on. You live in Australia for too long and you just pick up the accent. Australian people love the C word. They just say C word,
gross.
C word, mate, C word. Oh, mate, you have effing C word, mate. I was like, oh shit. Yeah,
I'm gonna go Noah Fan here. I am not ready to give up on Noah Fan, guys. I am not ready to give up on a 24-year-old tight end who athletically I still really like his profile. And he was a first-round pick, so he has that fifth-year extension. I'm not ready to give up on him. Am I ready to say Drew Lock is not the guy? Yes, but I'll take a shot here. Tweet just came out. Leonard Fournette. I'm trying to read it. Leonard Fournette says he's been playing like a top 5 running back these past 2 years. So this is Leonard Fournette literally came out and he said,
he wants money.
I know what I want. It's going to take time, but I also believe for the last 2 years I've played like a top 5 back. So I'm trusting God and enjoying this time grinding and with my family. So I think that means there is no promise that he's back in Tampa Bay anymore, guys.
Albert, are you gay Ronald Jones? Where's Ronald Jones? I might pick him up right now. Jones? I'm taking Ronald Jones right here, right now, because he's going to be RB1 in Tampa. I'm believing in it. See you there.
Oh, someone help.
13-11. I mean, that's great value there. Come on.
Yeah, take a
Has to
shot.
be.
Take a shot on your guy.
Take a shot on Rojo, my guy a couple years ago.
Oh, yikes.
And then freaking Lenny just came at spit in my face. And
So
said, actually,
if Lenny's not going to sign, let's look at let's look at over the cap. So he wants to get paid like a top 5 running back. It's interesting. I mean, he's an aging running back. He's 27 years old. Despite what he's done, no one's going to pay him like that. Am I wrong, guys? Like, tell me I'm wrong, maybe, but I don't think he's going to get that kind of money. So what teams would have the cap? Right now, the Colts have the most cap space. Well, they don't have a quarterback, so that makes sense.
That's not happening.
The Seahawks. Do the Seahawks really want to go get Fournette? Probably not. Panthers, Chargers, nope. Bears, doesn't make sense for them. Jets, maybe he goes to the Jets for money and he's there.
I would hate that. I would hate
but
that
it
for
would
my
make
Carter.
sense for the team, for the NFL team. It would make a lot of sense. But for Carter, it would suck. I don't know, man. All right, Hubbard went off the board. Am I upset about that? Yes. I wanted to grab Hubbard there.
I really wanted Chark, honestly. I was going to take Chark there. I had him on my queue. Lenny wants to get paid. It's not happening. Just don't see it happening. David said that's absurd. Top 5, 100%. It's great value, but I usually say no to Rojo. Arian hates him. He actually does. I think he just hates the man.
I went Lockett there. I mean, I'm just assuming that he's probably going to get traded. I don't imagine he starts the year in Seattle, so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the Dolphins have signed like 15 running backs already, so why not? Why not Fournette as well? What the hell is going on there?
Yeah. He's gonna go to a team that we're not expecting. Let's really think here.
Who are we thinking about? Who are we thinking about?
I see Patriots.
Who are we thinking about?
Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
I see Patriots as a if we really like had to give an option and like maybe someone's gonna walk away from a running back. I see Patriots.
I don't see that happening.
I see. Let's just.
I actually think he could.
Here.
I think he could be a commander. That's a possibility. I know that sounds crazy, but I just think that they want more running backs, and I know that sucks for Gibson, but he could be a commander. I mean, could he be an Eagle? I don't know. Maybe. How about the Bills? Maybe the Bills will go after him.
Yeah, shit. I'm really thinking.
Would it surprise you if
he's gonna go to a contender? He has to go to a contender.
Would it surprise you if the Ravens grabbed him? Would that be a surprise? I don't. I think I think they believe in Dobbins to be the workhorse, but would that surprise us? What if he goes to the Niners?
Holy shit. What if he goes to the boys?
To the Cowboys?
Get rid of Zeke.
Yeah,
Who's
I mean,
older?
you honestly cut Zeke.
Who's older, actually?
I
in
still
that
don't understand
scenario?
why they chose to keep Zeke instead of. I don't
Um,
get it. Oh yeah, Chiefs is a possibility. That's a good point, Adam. That's interesting.
Where the hell is Zeke on this goddamn board? Oh, here we go.
Yikes, man! So
All right.
aggressive.
26 years old Zeke is. How old's Lenny? 26 as well?
27, I think.
Would you rather have Lenny or Lenny or Zeke just in general, like on your team?
In general, I would rather have like in an NFL team.
On an NFL team right here, right now, would you rather have Zeke
Lenny.
or Lenny?
Lenny. I mean, Zeke looks done. I hate to say it, but he truly does look done.
We thought
and-
Lenny was done when he was with the Jags as well. But
No,
then he got
no, he
freaking Tom
didn't.
Brady.
I never said that he was done when he left.
A
the
lot of people
Jags.
thought that though.
No, I definitely like it was hard to get past that team, whereas Zeke has been on a really good offense. So to me, Zeke he's just lost that step, and it's really hard not to see. But yeah, he does have a lot more touches. He's got a lot more baggage. And by the way, if we're talking about NFL, like real NFL, I would much rather sign Leonard Fournette to a deal than take on Zeke's contract.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I think that's how we have to start thinking. You know, like there's some talent. Leonard Fournette's talent. Let's not forget, one of these guys is gonna get injured in preseason. We really hope it doesn't happen. Is gonna get injured in OTAs. There's gonna be a torn ACL. There's gonna be a ruptured Achilles. Something is gonna happen when somebody here is not gonna play, and then that's where Lenny jumps in and says, "Here I am. Send me. If you know, you know." Yeah, very interesting.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Jarvis. I'm really curious to see where Jarvis goes, and if this was a startup today, this feels like great value. I mean, where could he go? I feel like he could
Jarvis
be
to
a
the
real
Packers.
impact player somewhere.
Why not Packers?
Garrett says my next pick. This guy should be getting picked more. I'm assuming that's Hamler. Yeah, we've heard about Hamler. It's interesting, man. Well, I mean, obviously we know Hamler out of Penn State, right? If I'm not mistaken, real speedster. But I don't know, man. There's already so many mouths to feed there. Who knows? Maybe Russ finds something with him in practice. Julio at the 15-11. Fuller at
Another
the
guy,
15-10. And this is the last pick.
Let me get it right on back. That's what I'm gonna get. What a day, guys. Deshaun Watson to the Browns. It's all happening here.
Can I just say though, I don't like it. I don't know. I hate to be that guy, but I think the Saints or the Falcons would have been much.
I think he went.
It would have made a lot more sense for his career looking at the AFC right now. I don't know. I just don't want to go to Cleveland if I'm a quarterback. I don't know, man. I really don't think this was the right move for him. But again, it's his move. It's his decision. But do I want to go to Cleveland? Do I want to go into the AFC? It's going to be much more difficult to ever reach a Super Bowl there with all the AFC teams that are stacked. I don't know, man. I just... Even if you need to give Atlanta a year or two to really build around you, or the Saints a year or two to find those weapons, when I saw it was the Browns, I'm not saying this for fantasy or dynasty. I was just thinking to myself, like, what are we doing here? Like, how many good teams in the AFC are going to miss out on the playoffs? Like, let's actually look at this AFC teams, NFL. Like, I just want to, I know we're about to do draft grades, but let's think about this. How many teams can make the playoffs? I want you guys to count with me. Patriots 1, Chiefs 2, Bengals 3, Browns 4, Bills 5, Raiders 6, Broncos 7, Chargers 8, Colts 9, Ravens 10, Titans 11. I'm not going to put the Jags in there. Steelers 12. Dolphins, I think that they could make the playoffs. That's 13 teams. You know where I'm coming from here? Like,
Nah, I get you. I think
there are going to be really, really good teams who miss out on the playoffs. When you look at the NFC, though, I mean, let's see. Rams, 49ers. Okay, Rams, 49ers. Vikings maybe, but I mean they weren't even making it before. Saints don't feel like a playoff team to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like all
Cardinals,
the teams that he went to, the Browns
Cowboys. Guys,
are a
that
playoff
is
team.
4 teams. Am I missing anyone that feels like locked for the playoffs? I mean, Washington's going to make the playoffs, bro.
This guy.
Hey, let me know. Am I missing anything here? Packers.
No,
Sorry, I
no.
didn't say Packers.
Yeah, Packers.
That's 5.
I think he went to the most ready team to go to the playoffs.
Bucks.
He's
6.
trying to win now.
Okay, so all I'm trying to say is like, man, I don't really understand it, to be honest. And by the way, these are long-term teams that are all built up. There are so many long-term teams. Russ saying, I want to be here for 10 years. Derek Carr is about to get the extension. Man, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know.
You want to be the best, you got to play the best. But no, like for me, the defense is ready. The defense has been ready. The offensive line, one of the best offensive line in the NFL here. Maybe he doesn't have all the weapons, even though they just got Amari Cooper for nothing. You get Deshaun Watson. So in reality, you take a chance on one of these guys. Maybe you sign a Jarvis, not a Jarvis Landry. Imagine Jarvis Landry's like, yo, I'm trying to come back. But maybe you sign one of these guys that are still available out there.
Let me ask about the defense,
get
though.
a young wide receiver.
The defense is middle of the pack, but I don't think this is a good defense. I think it's an okay defense. I wouldn't put this in the good category. I mean, I was looking at points per game last year. They were right at the middle of the pack as well. So I don't think this is a bad defense at all. This is probably a better defense than Deshaun's played with throughout his career. I think that we could say that that's true compared to what he's had in Houston.
I mean,
but it's not like the Saints would have been a really, really good defense to be a part of.
Yeah, but no weapons. Offense. Well, not the
I
offensive
get it,
line,
but
like,
give them time to build around you, and then it's such an easier path to the playoffs to go deep into the playoffs as well. I mean, the wild card is going to be teams. All the teams in the wild card in the AFC could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, all the teams in the AFC are going to have winning records. Are going to be trying to make it.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know, just something I thought when I saw the news. I was like, really? You went to the AFC? And even the Texans moving him to the AFC. I mean, how long do the Texans want to be irrelevant for? I don't know. Anyway, I was baffled, to be honest. I was baffled.
No, I definitely get you. I mean,
yeah.
Jeez, I just don't know. I think he can definitely win the division for sure. I mean, the only one he really has to go through now, well, that's a lie because Big Ben is no longer there.
You
but
know what
now
I just
you have
realized?
Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson.
Washington will make the playoffs, by the way. Like, after looking at the NFC teams in general, like, Washington will be in the playoffs.
There's no way that's happening.
There could be 3 teams from the NFC East that make the playoffs potentially this year. But it's probably not going to happen. I mean, I would love for Washington to be terrible, and then we get a chance at a quarterback next year, a real quarterback, but we'll see. Anyway, you should grade Ravenger's team.
No way. Ravager, Josh Allen, Justin Fields with Jordan Love down there just for the lows. He is trapped according to all sources. Per source.
Frustrating.
Antonio Gibson.
Shout out
Kenneth
to Per
Walker.
Source. Great guy.
Have you seen Pat McAfee when he was talking about Aaron Rodgers? Per source. Anyways, Antonio Gibson, Kenneth Walker, Michael Carter, Zeke, James Cook, Darrell Henderson, James Cook, future Giant, I'm believing it. With Garrett Wilson, David Bell, Hunter Renfrow, Alec Pierce, and TJ Hawkinson and Mike Gesicki. I think the weakest room here is your wide receiver room, even though you do have rookies. All depends on where they go. I like your quarterback room. I think that's strong. You know how I feel. Justin Fields at the 212, fantastic. Running back room, Antonio Gibson and Michael Carter, I think that's okay. I think those are your 2-1-2 punches. Zeke can be your backup, or you can, whatever the way you want to put it. And your tight ends are great. This is a good team. I'm giving it a B+. Okay. I think my biggest concern will be your wide receiver room.
Yep.
To see what that looks like. Now Hunter Renfrow with Devontae Adams there, he has a massive downfall. So B+, B flat around there.
All right, Thomas, we got Pat Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill, and Danny Dimes. What where are our wide receivers?
Oh my gosh.
We got Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, and Adam Thielen.
That's all he needs, bro. He needs wide receiver. That's all he needs.
Okay. Our running backs are Brees Hall, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, Tyler Algier. Tight end is Kelsey. I don't know what to say. I don't. You need more wide receivers. You need more wide receivers. I mean, ideally, you would have at least 5 to 7 wide receivers on your team. This is too many RBs as well. Too many RBs, not enough wide receivers. Love Pat Mahomes. I love DJ Moore, Brees Hall. You can justify having him there. Quarterback room is a little bit weak. I mean, I know I definitely didn't do that right this draft either. But yeah, there's just not enough wide receiver depth here. If I was to start a dynasty startup with these aging running backs on my team, I don't know what the plan is. So I'll be honest, this is a C plus, a C plus. Again, there's a lot of good pieces here, but you need a much bigger wide receiver room, guys that you can rely on long term. And even the running backs that you have, they do have a short lifespan here in the league. Not a great quarterback room either. Curious what the goal was there, but let me know if I'm wrong. Again, these are just our opinions, guys. We only ever give our opinions, and we mock to have fun and to try different things. So maybe you were trying something. Team 3.
Buy apple pie. Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Jameis Winston, Baker Mayfield. You got CMC, Say, Isaiah Spiller, and Brian Robinson. Then you have Deontay Johnson, Terry, Amari Cooper, Juju, Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk. This is probably your strongest room here. Is your wide receiver room with your quarterback room. I like Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence. Then your tight end is Dalton Schultz. My biggest concern is probably, these running backs. As much as I love Say, what the hell's going to happen with him? Isaiah Spiller, we're not a huge fan of Isaiah Spiller, but if he does fall to the right spot, he can have a great opportunity. Overall, this is a decent team. Maybe one too many quarterbacks. I probably would have taken some more, running back depth or wide receiver depth, but it makes sense. It makes sense maybe why you want to take him instead of some of these guys. Overall, I think this team is good. Amari Cooper, now we see his value at the 7.3. Juju Smith at the 8.10 is going to be very interesting. Amari Cooper can be in conversation of being a top 12 wide receiver now with Deshaun Watson. We just got to wait and see what the hell that's going to look like. So that's fantastic. Having Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, Scary Terry is fantastic. And Juju, another guy that could be in contentions, definitely be a top 20 wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes this next year. So this is a B-flat team. I'm not in love with the running backs, but makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Thomas just commented. He said, "Just trade for wide receivers. It's March. I like the value on RBs." I'll just quickly kind of say, and again, like the only reason we do the lives is maybe to bring some insight. And look, if we're off, we're off. But I can speak on behalf of the dynasty leagues that I'm in and that Badaki are in. It is relatively easy to go trade for aging running backs. It is very, very difficult to get young wide receivers that you can build with. And even the wide receiver room in general, I feel like it's much more difficult to trade for wide receivers than it is running backs. Guys like, Jones, Fournette, Kamara, Henry, I don't think it would take all that much to trade for those kind of running backs, whereas wide receivers, people do not sell wide receivers because of the longevity. And again, it could just be our league. So I get where you're going there. Maybe it sheds some insight, maybe it doesn't. But for the leagues that we're in, I think you would have a real difficult time moving these running backs for any value. Like from I've had some of these running backs, and not many people are wanting to invest into them into the trade market. So again, I could be wrong, but maybe if it is helpful for anyone out there, I would personally be suggesting to build a stronger wide receiver room, because even in the trade market, wide receivers are much harder to grab than these aging running backs. Is that fair to say, Badaki? Do you think that's fair?
No, it's definitely fair. I think it all depends on your strategy and kind of what you're believing. Maybe, you rather get running backs because maybe you can trade for wide receivers, and it makes sense for sure. So
for
just
sure.
really all depends. Really depends on how you want to do it, and this is why we mock. Just
Totally.
to try
And
to see what we do.
maybe your league sees it a little bit differently. I don't know. I can't speak on it, but that's just the reason I brought those thoughts. All right, team 4. We got Watson and Davis Mills as our quarterbacks. Our wide receivers are Cup, Devonta Smith, Michael Thomas, Michael Gallup, Shakira, Jacoby Myers, and Josh Palmer. Our running backs are Akers, Montgomery, Dillon, Zamir White. We have Mark Andrews as our tight end, as well as Hunter Henry. All right, interesting. So only 2 quarterbacks. I would prefer to have a third quarterback on this team. Maybe down here we can grab a Winston somewhere, a Baker, or a Daniel Jones, or a Sam Howell or Ritter. So I would prefer to have at least 3 quarterbacks on the squad in a SuperFlex league. Akers, Montgomery, Dillon, Zamir White. I'm more than comfortable with that running back room. I am not an Akers guy. I don't want to invest in Akers after the Achilles injury. So Badaki would love that pick. For me, there
100%.
are other running backs on the board that I would prefer. Wide receiver room. I like your wide receiver room. I know people don't like this, but I'm not comfortable taking Cup in the second round. People are going to hate that I'm even saying that, but he's not someone that I really want to take with a second round pick. But again, I think it does suit this team because this team looks like they're trying to win now. But my only question, because we have Cup, we have Michael Thomas, so it looks like we are aiming a little bit towards the win now, but we don't really have that quarterback room to compete for that win now status. So that is something I would change. I would definitely get a bigger quarterback room. But this is a good team. I'm going to give it a B+.
Okay. Dave, brother. Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Jalen Wild, Debo, Drake London, Chris Olave, Wandale, OBJ, great wide receiver room. Running back, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Rashad White, and Tyler Beatty with Trey McBride, David Njoku.
Njoku.
Wide receivers are great. Quarterbacks are great. Are decent. Quarterbacks are decent because Aaron Rodgers now for the next quote unquote 3-4 years
Still feels like a year by year contract, man.
It does feel that way, but I mean the contract says I think if I'm not mistaken 3 or 4 something like that. Yeah, so hey, get him here at the 5-5, maybe sell him next year, whatever the case may be. Anyways, my biggest concern is the running back room. James Conner, another guy, a 3-year extension, very interesting in Dynasty. So you do have 2 solidified running backs, which is crazy now saying that with James Conner. And then Rashad White. Yeah, Rashad White here. If he lands on a team that he can get opportunity, that's a good RB3. So your running back rooms are actually surprisingly decent, and your tight ends are fantastic with McBride and Njoku. So this is a good team. I'm giving it B+, A- vibes. I think I would have liked maybe one more running back, maybe a Damian Harris, even though he's on a 1 deal. Ramondre Stevenson, you could have had over Rashad White. I think I would have taken that for sure. But other than that, I think this is a great team for sure.
Yeah,
this is a really great team.
If this was a real draft, Rashad White, you're either going to look back after the draft in the next couple of years and think, man, why did I not take one of these more solidified running backs? Or it'd be like, that was a steal. I don't think there's any in between for Rashad, but I could be wrong. It's hard to project him, but I love the team as well.
Yeah, this is a great team.
Kid Prosper, Joe Burrow, Malik Willis, Kirk Cousins, Sam Howell. Our wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis, Russell Gage, which we haven't really talked about. I mean, he's in Tampa. It's interesting.
He's taking AB's position?
I don't think so. Well, I think he's more of a depth piece, but we'll see. He's a good wide receiver. He's a great wide receiver 3, so he fits the role for their team. Would I take Malik this early? I think you can take a shot on Malik that early. I do think you can take a shot on him. Again, this is another one of those picks you're going to look back in 2 years from now, and either that is a massive value pick, and Malik in startups is now going in the first, second round, or Malik is a bust, and the pick is wasted. So it's hard to know with that pick right there. Our running backs are Dalvin Cook, Devin Singletary, Vaughn, and Carson. Tight end is Goddard. I like the team. I like the team. You know, obviously you got Kirk Cousins to kind of cover up that risk with Malik. The running back room isn't the strongest. It feels like the Bills have, with their offseason moves, suggested that they're looking to add to their running back room. So I don't
Yeah.
know what
Interesting to
Singletary's
see.
value is going to look like going forward. So I'm not sure there's more than one starter here on the team. But you know, I am an advocate for trading for RBs. So I do think you have, you know, the assets here to trade for RBs on the low. So I like the team, but again, you know, there are a couple things that there is some risk associated with this team for sure. I'm gonna give it a B flat.
All right, Gary with the hacks. Please. Gary with the hacks. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Desmond Ritter, great quarterback room. Elijah Moore, Traylon Burks, Amon Ra, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, KJ Hamler. I think this is a good wide receiver room. I get why you take Traylon Burks. Maybe I'll take a shot. I guess hypothetically Traylon goes to the Packers. That's crazy. He goes even higher than this. But I mean, he's probably going to be the wide receiver one going off the board
I
for the
even,
NFL draft.
without knowing his landing spot, I have troubles drafting him over like DJ Moore and
100%. I
McLaren
agree.
and Deontay.
I,
It's so
I agree,
hard.
and I
But
think that's why I stray
landing
away
spot
from
will be
rookies.
huge.
That's why I stray away from rookies in a dynasty startup. You know, because I just don't know where these guys are going to go. But it is
Right.
fun seeing everyone else take them. Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders, Damian Harris with Kyron Williams. Then you have Dawson Knox and Brevin Jordan. I think your running back room is great with the value that you got. Nick Chubb, Miles
Yep.
Sanders, and then Damian. I think that's fantastic.
And he also went RB late and hit
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah, exactly. I think my biggest question is the wide receiver room
Mm-hmm.
because of Traylon, because of Pickens and Ridley. Maybe if Ridley is somebody else, you know, maybe
I
if
love the Ridley pick though.
yeah, it's just, you know, maybe you need somebody that is solidified more that's going to be playing here now. Because I guess that's the expectation with Pickens and Traylon. I personally think this is an A team. Just hoping that these rookies hit.
Right.
That's how I see it.
All right, Trippy.
Anyone else? Sorry, just anyone else. It would, like, if Traylon was Stephon Diggs, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, hit. George Pickens was Amari Cooper, Kadarius Toney, Darnell Mooney. That's a hit. You know, like, fine, that's an A for sure, without a doubt.
I would actually prefer Pickens over the guys you named though.
I guess I'm just saying that because we know their role and we know what's happening.
Right.
That's why it would have been a lot easier to say an A. But
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, Trippy. We got Jalen Hurts, Matt Corral. I feel like I shouldn't grade this one. No, I should, because I'm gonna not like the Hurts pick. You're not gonna like the Pitts pick. All right, so it doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts, Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett. So to me, there's a lot of question marks in that quarterback room. I don't want to go on the spiel as to why I don't want to invest into Jalen Hurts. But even outside of that, we don't know if Corral or Pickett are ever going to be solidified starters in the league. Pickett seems safe, but we don't know. Wide receivers, we got Jamar Chase, Michael Pittman, Christian Watson, Sky Moore, Ron Don, Justin Ross. I don't know that I'm taking Michael Pittman that early over these other guys without knowing his quarterback situation yet as well. And then really from 9-9 onwards, we're kind of taking shots on who our wide receiver 3 could be. Running backs, I love Etienne and Mitchell. I think that's a really good 2 running backs to build with. Then we got Pierre Strong and James Robinson. So ideally you'd have a more solidified 3, but I think you did pretty decent there. And Kyle Pitts at the 2-4. I don't hate it. I'm never going to tell someone not to take Kyle Pitts in the second round of a startup. Again, tight end position is one of advantage if you have an elite tight end, and Pitts is 21 years old. I want to remind people, Kyle Pitts put up 1,000-yard season last year, okay? The first 1,000-yard season Travis Kelce had, he was 27 years old. Pitts is 21. So maybe let's lower the expectations a little bit and just believe that he's going to continue to to build into that elite tight end. I like the pick. I'm okay with it. But overall, there's a lot of unknowns. Obviously, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. I mean, you have two elite players at very good positions. Love the running backs, but really the quarterback room really scares me, and the wide receiver depth. So I'm gonna give this a B minus. This is a B minus for me. There's too much uncertainty. I like risk. I like trying to project things, but there's too much risk here for me.
All right. Tyreek Greyjoy, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins.
Shoot. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I just realized that we're literally in the way. My bad.
I wasn't even paying attention. Sorry. Once again, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, D-Hop, Cortland Sutton, Will Fuller, Trey Lance with Matthew Stafford and Jimmy G. Then you have Austin Eckler, Clyde, Chase Edmonds, and Alexander Madison with Darren Waller and Albert. Are you okay? Wide receiver rooms, great. I feel like this is a win now wide receiver room, even though Devontae Adams just signed a 5-year extension.
Right.
Which is weird. And then you have Trey Lance and Matthew Stafford, which is great.
Which doesn't mean that Devontae Adams is going to be Devontae Adams for 5 years,
100%, exactly. Then Austin Eckler, Clyde as your RB2, or Chase Edmonds as your RB2 now in Miami. I think that's probably your weakest room, is your running back room with all these question marks.
Sure.
With what Chase Edmonds gonna be. Are they even gonna give the opportunity to Clyde? So and you got Waller and Albert. Are you okay? Which is great value. So I think this is a good team. The only question marks are the running backs.
Yeah.
Which is Clyde and Chase. But other than that, it's a good team. I like the pieces that you have, foundational, older, but you have Justin Jefferson as well with Trey Lance. It's a mix. I feel like it's more of a win now team. But for me, this is just a B flat team for me.
I would say he's done really well, but yeah, you're right. You do need better running backs to be a win now team. I do think you definitely need a really solidified RB2 and 3. And what you would just have to do is, after the draft, you would probably have to make some trade moves to really solidify that RB room. And then Trey Lance, I like that you also have Jimmy G, so I'm good with that. Mm-hmm. All right, back in 82, we got Swift and Williams, as well as Jerome Ford and Kenneth Gainwell. Two really great running backs. Love the running back room. Quarterbacks are Mac Jones and Tua Tagovailoa, as well as Tom Brady. So that's a pretty decent quarterback room. I mean, two guys who might not ever be top 5 quarterbacks, but definitely have top 12 potential. Jerry Jeudy, Jamison Williams, Darnell Mooney, Ayuk, DPJ, DJ Chark, and Mechie at wide receiver. Hopefully Jeudy can transition into this elite wide receiver, but outside of that, there isn't really an elite wide receiver on this team. I do think Williams has a chance to be something really special, but the wide receiver room, you do have to look at it and say this is a weakness of the team, because there's a lot of really good dynasty ideal wide receiver 2 and 3s on this team, but there's no one who's really that alpha on the team just yet, and someone could develop into it. But we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. And then Pat Frymuth, I'm okay with that value there. So I like the team. I'm going to give it a B+, but again, the only reason it doesn't get up there is because I am a little bit worried about having true, like, in a PPR league, is Mooney, Ayuk, DPJ, or Williams or Jeudy going to see 150 targets ever? I don't know, So I do think it's a good team, but the wide receiver room definitely worries me.
Okay.
Who would be the best team of the night then?
For me, I think one of the best teams is Garrett. He always has a good team, which is not okay. He needs to give it to somebody else.
There was someone else that you said before Garrett, though, who I really like their team. Yeah, you were like, yeah, this is a good team.
It was probably Dave, potentially, because he got Josh Jacobs and James Conner. We just didn't know about Rashad White.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, I would give it to Dave and Garrett.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. Congratulations, guys. 1-800-223-97.
Mock drafters of the night.
All love. Maybe address the chat a little bit. Blaze. Thank you.
Cameron Evans says, don't understand Elijah Moore, third round startup pick at all. Bad team that could add somebody in the draft. I guess that really just depends on how you view Elijah Moore as a talent. If you don't see Elijah Moore as a guy who can be a top 12 talent, then you don't make the pick. We do see him as that type of talent. And I think we saw that in little spurts last year that he could be, a top 12 wide receiver in the NFL for dynasty scoring purposes. But yeah, if you don't see that in him, you don't make that pick. I would say that I am 100% still taking DK Metcalf over Elijah Moore. I cannot make that move. I cannot put Elijah Moore over DK Metcalf. But after that, you're really in the third round when you're looking at Elijah Moore. Again, it's a really hard position between Elijah and other players who might be a little bit older or unproven. I do think you can make a case for Godwin, Deontay, DJ Moore. I think you can make a case for those guys over Elijah. It just depends on how you see it.
Yeah, I completely agree. It just depends on who you believe in and what you think. Maybe, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot what weeks he was like wide receiver 2.
Yeah, it was like a 4-week span during the season.
Yeah, 4 weeks span, him being wide receiver 2. So there's different scenarios and different thought process that you can do. But, I believe in Zach Wilson. I believe in this team. I believe in Elijah Moore to start either be the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. Hypothetically, there's a lot of talks of them bringing in Drake London to be that big body guy. I don't think that really hurts Elijah Moore at all, in my opinion. It hurts him a little bit, but it doesn't hurt him to where like he's not getting a lot of targets. So that's just a thought process, hypothetically.
All right, guys. Huge love. Thanks for joining us. Again, really interesting. Yeah, really interesting to see. I'll turn that on. Where everyone fell, where all these guys kind of started to fall. Oh my gosh. Turn these cameras on. Here we go. Bang, bang. Hey, if you haven't dropped a like, we hit 51 likes. Huge love.
You like that? You like that?
Appreciate everyone who dropped a like for us. Really, really interesting to see where these guys fell. And of course, there are still so many free agents. The draft, free agency. I mean, we look at this board, it looks accurate, but I promise you it will look completely different after the draft. It's going to be super, super interesting after the draft to see what this looks like.
We're gonna once we have names.
Where did Cooper go? 7-3.
Teams and names.
And Joku at the 12-8. Crazy man. Now we see Hunter Renfrow in the 11th round.
A lot of things.
Derek Carr, I took him in the 5th.
Probably the highest he's been in a startup. I think he usually goes 8th, maybe 7th, 8th round. Amari Cooper goes to the 7th now. Just a lot of things happening.
For sure.
So we'll definitely see what happens next. Well, we do Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. We'll see you guys Monday night for our next mock draft. It will be rookies.
Yeah,
and I think we'll try and do a community real NFL mock draft next week if you guys want to. If that's something that you guys want to be a part of. That was really fun last time we did it. The only reason we didn't do it yesterday is because of the Devontae Adams trade, which still... This feels like someone is... Have you ever joined a Madden franchise with your friends?
No, I haven't.
It feels like this is a Madden franchise with friends, and it feels like a fantasy draft has happened, and the entire landscape of the NFL is completely different. It's wild, but I love it. It feels like the NBA off seasons. Anyway, guys, huge love. I'll say it. We'll just plug a couple things on the way out, and if you're interested in what's going on here, feel free to stay.
Yeah.
If you want to join our follower leagues, I just pasted the link in the chat, patreon.com/fantasylandfam. I think we have 4 or 5 spots left in our latest Dynasty Startup League, if I'm not mistaken.
Filling up pretty fast, actually. So, and it's really exciting because we do the rookie or the draft order reveal here live as well, and we do our draft with the community. Our leagues live on YouTube here as well, so that's really fun.
We need to find a bank that will accept us, Badaki. I mean, we just became a business, and now no bank wants to work with us. I don't know why. They say that we're a gambling business, but we're not. I mean, We don't accept bets or anything. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's a little personal life stuff. Um,
That was super. A lot of little personal life stuff.
Personal life stuff. Got the Texas hat on. Hook 'em horns. I think that's it. Again, the other thing I'll say is if you want a resource for redraft content and DFS and that kind of stuff, you can follow our main channel there, Dynasty Gamblers LLC.
That's basically what they
That's
we
what they
submit
see.
it.
Yeah.
They see, oh, so you're gambling.
Yeah.
Great. Like they see dynasty football or fantasy football, they'll be like, wow, okay. Gamblers.
Yeah. Lawrence or Fields? That's a good question. I think I'm gonna go Justin Fields over Lawrence, but it's close.
I'm going Fields as well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Huge love. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We got a bunch of videos coming out still. So there will be videos every day. And hope you guys enjoy them. And we're going to make a bunch of content next week. So
yeah.
see you then.